watch something new and learn something new. Welcome to your digital classroom. I am Saji Kevin and you are watching my channel, The Eureka. Act 1, Scene 2. This scene takes place in a room in Portia's house in Belmont. Portia and Nerissa are engaged in conversation. Portia is in a melancholy mood. Portia is in a sad mood because she is bound by the will of her father that she cannot marry a man whom she loves. Therefore, Portia is in sad mood. Many suitors have come from all over the world to marry Portia. Portia does not like any of these suitors. And Portia and Nerissa, her maid, are engaged in lively conversation. Now, let's go through the scene in detail. Portia, by my troth, Nerissa, my little body is weary of this great world. I swear by my faith, I am tired of this great world. I am fed up with this great world. I am sad because of this great world. Portia is sad. She has a reason for her sadness because she is bound by the will of her father. In the first scene, we found Antonio was also in a melancholy mood. But Antonio does not know the reason for his sadness. Here, Portia knows the reason for her sadness. As she is bound by the will of her father, she is sad. Nerissa, you would be, sweet madam, if your miseries were in the same abundance as your good fortunes are. You would be tired of this great world if your miseries were as plentiful as your wealth. Your sadness is in proportion to your wealth. Therefore, you are sad. And yet, for naught I see, they are as sick that is sufficed with too much as they that starve with nothing. As far as I see, I understand, they who are having too much wealth are as sick as they who have nothing to eat, they who starve. So those people who are too much rich are as sad as those who are too poor. It is no mean happiness, therefore, to be seated in the mean. Therefore, it is not bad to be in a middle position, to be an average person, to be happy in this world. Superfluity comes sooner by white haze, but competency lives longer. Those who have too much of anything will grow old sooner, and those who have just enough to survive will live longer. Yes, too much of everything causes suffering. Portia is sad because of her excessive wealth. On account of her wealth, maybe many suitors have come to marry her. Portia, good sentences and well pronounced. You have spoken well. They are good proverbs and well you have spoken. Nerissa, they would be better if were followed. It would be better if those proverbs were followed in letter. If those proverbs were followed truly. Portia, if to do were as easy to know what were good to do, chapels had been churches, and poor man's cottage prince's palace. If it were as easy to know what is good, then the small churches, chapels, would be great churches, and poor man's cottage would be the palace of prince. Knowing good is easier than doing good. We know the good things, but doing good is rather difficult. If it were as easy to do, then the small churches would be great churches, small cottages would be the palace of the prince. It is a good divine that follows his own instructions. He is a good priest that follows his own instructions. Everyone can advise others to follow the instructions, but it is rather difficult to follow their own instructions by themselves. I can easier teach 20 what were good to be done than be one of the 20 to follow my own teaching. I can teach easily 20 students what are the things to be followed, what are the good things to be followed, rather than being a student and following my own instruction. It is easy to advise others, but difficult to follow the advice of one's own. The brain may devise laws for the blood, but a hot temper leaves over the cold degree. Brain may frame laws for the body, but the passion of the body break those laws framed by the mind. The mind may make a law that we should get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, but the passion, the instinct feeling of the person may not follow the instruction given by the mind. Such a hair is madness, to skip over the mentions of good counsel. So here the spirit of the youth is compared to hare, a rabbit that jumps over the trap to escape being caught in the trap. In the same way, the spirit, the passion of a youth jumps over breaks the advice of the brain. The passion of the body breaks the laws framed by the mind. But this reasoning is not in the fashion to choose me a husband. This wise talk is not a way for me to choose a husband for myself. So here Portia has given a wise talk about following the instructions. Mind may frame laws for the body, but body can break those laws. The same way, Portia desires to marry Bassanio, but Portia cannot marry Bassanio, as she is bound by the will of her father. Whereas the passions of the body can break the laws framed by the mind. Therefore, this wise talk is not a way for me to choose a husband. Or me, the word choose. Alas, the word choose makes me sad. I may neither choose whom I would, nor refuse whom I dislike. So is the will of a living daughter curbed by the will of her dead father. So here, I cannot choose a man whom I love, nor I can refuse a man whom I dislike. Therefore, the will of the daughter is bound by the will of her dead father. She is bound by the will of her father. She cannot choose a man whom she loves. Is it not hard, Nerissa, that I cannot choose one nor refuse none? Is it not hard for me to bear that I cannot marry a man whom I love and nor refuse a man whom I dislike? Is it not hard for me to bear? This makes me sad. Nerissa, your father was ever virtuous, and holy men at their death have good inspirations. Therefore, the lottery that he hath devised in these three caskets of gold and silver and lead, whoever who chooses his meaning chooses will no doubt will be chosen by any rightly but one you shall rightly love. Your father was a virtuous man. Such virtuous persons have good inspirations at the time of their death. Therefore, the lottery that your father has designed in the casket of gold, silver and lead will be chosen by a man whom you love dearly, as well as the man who loves you dearly. Therefore, you need not worry about it. Portia is consoled by Nerissa, saying her father was a virtuous man. Therefore, such a virtuous person has good inspiration. Whatever he has designed to choose a husband for, Portia will be chosen by right person. That casket is the test of character. A person who has good character and who loves Portia dearly alone will be chosen. But what warmth is there is your affection towards any of these princely suitors that are already come. Now, tell me the passion, the love that you have for the suitors that have come to marry you. Tell me about the persons who have come to marry you. How much love do you have for them? Portia, I pray thee, over name them, and as thou namest them, I will describe them, and according to my description, level at my affection. I request you to name one after the other. I shall describe them, and according to my description, you make out my love for these suitors who have come to marry me. Thanks for watching my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Give your feedback and don't hesitate to ask your doubts.